producing about 135 million pounds from primary mine supply, and that's in the backdrop of well over 190 million pounds of annual demand and reactor requirements. And so,
welcome to Proven and Probable, where we deliver mining insights and bullion sales in the form of physical delivery, offshore depositories, and private blockchain distributed ledger technology.
Welcome to Proven and Probable. I'm your host, Maurice Jackson. And joining us for a conversation is Jordan Trimble, the President, Director, and CEO of Skyharbour Resources. Mr. Trimble, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me again.
Glad to have you on the program to discuss Skyharbour Resources, a preeminent uranium explorer in Canada's Athabasca Basin. Members of our audience should note that we conducted a very thorough, comprehensive interview regarding the value proposition of Skyharbour Resources in August. We encourage you to watch that interview to fully appreciate today's interview. Mr. Trimble, please introduce us to Skyharbour Resources and the opportunity the company presents to the market.
So for those that haven't had a chance to listen to the first interview, just a quick high level on the company. We are a high-grade uranium exploration and early-stage development company with projects in the Athabasca Basin in northern Saskatchewan, again, the highest-grade depository of uranium in the world. We've done a good job over the last 5 or 6 years of acquiring these projects at attractive valuations in a depressed uranium market. And so we have 6 projects scattered throughout the basin on the west side, near recent notable discoveries made by NextGen and Fission, as well as projects over on the east side where you have infrastructure and the largest and richest uranium mines in the world, being at McArthur River and Cigar Lake. Our flagship project is a project called Moore. Moore Lake is a project we acquired about 3 years ago from our largest shareholder and strategic partner, Denison Mines. We've been actively exploring and advancing that project, making some recent notable discoveries. We are now preparing for a winter drill program. We'll talk a little bit more about that. That's a big upcoming catalyst for the company. And then in addition to offering that high-grade discovery potential, really looking to emulate the recent, again, successes at the NextGen's, Fission's, Hathor's of the world, we also act as a prospect generator, and we look to bring in partner companies to advance our other projects. Notably, we've done 2 deals in the last several years, one of which with France's largest uranium mining company, known as Orano, previously called Areva, where they can spend upwards of $8 million to earn up to 70% of our Preston project. And then another company we did a deal with a few years back called Azincourt. They spend $3.5 million to earn up to 70% of our East Preston project. So a good complement to what we're doing at our flagship. These partner companies fund the work. We get some cash payments from them, and we also benefit from news flow. So that's the company in a nutshell, run by myself, my team here in Vancouver, and my head geologist and director of the company, Rick Kazmersky, and our geological team in Saskatoon. And some notables on the board and advisory board, David Cates, who's the president and CEO of Denison Mines, again, our largest shareholder, strategic partner, and another gentleman, Paul Matizik, a strategic advisor to the company. So a good technical team and management team and a strong shareholder base as well.
To gain some better context and appreciation for Skyharbour's most recent press release, Mr. Trimble, where in the Athabasca is the flagship Moore Lake project located, and how many hectares does it contain?
Yeah, so it's a big property. It's about 36,000 hectares. It's located on the east side of the Athabasca Basin, so just south of McArthur River. It's actually located about 12, 13 kilometers east of Denison's flagship project, the Wheeler project. So the road that goes up to McArthur River is actually in between their project and our project. So logistically, for us, especially in the winter, it's very easy to get in and out. The main Maverick corridor, where most of the drilling's focused, is very easy to work on. Your drill costs come down quite a bit, and so ideally located or situated on the east side where the infrastructure is power roads, existing mines and mills, and that's an important part of the story here for us at our flagship project.
Jordan, take us to your flagship Moore Lake project, which is known for its rich, high-grade uranium, and let's discuss the details of the company's latest press release regarding airborne geophysics surveying and the exciting plans for the upcoming drill program.
We just announced about a week ago results from a UAV, a drone mag survey flown by Pioneer Aerial Surveys. And so this is a new technique that we're using to refine and identify new and existing targets at our flagship project, the Moore Lake project. So at the project, there's a 4-kilometer long structural corridor, mineralized corridor called the Maverick Corridor. This is where most of the historical exploration and the drilling that we've carried out over the last several years has been focused. There's high-grade uranium mineralization there, upwards of 21% U3O8. There's several high-grade pods along strike on this 4-kilometer long corridor, but really only 2 kilometers of it has been systematically drill tested. So there's room to expand along strike, make additional discoveries. But what's intriguing right now and what's significant for this upcoming drill program is that we are now looking a little bit deeper and drill testing a little bit deeper into the basement rocks. And worth noting, these recent discoveries that we've talked about, again, NextGen, Fission, the Griffin deposit that Denison discovered several years back, these are all basement-hosted deposits below the sandstone sediments and the unconformity being the contact. So finding these feeder zones in the basement rock, that's really where you can find your biggest and highest grade deposits in the Athabasca Basin. And that's what's exciting about this project right now, is that using these new techniques, these mag surveys flown by drones, we're able to get a more refined geophysical signature, get a better picture of what's happening beneath, and properly, with pinpoint accuracy, target these potential feeder zones. So we really believe that we're going after some of our best targets. It's worth noting, in the last drill program, which was earlier in the year, one of our last drill holes intersected some of the highest grade mineralization that we found in the basement rock on this project to date. Again, relatively untested. We really think we've just scratched the surface, and we think we're on to finding something much larger in these basement rocks. So this recent news release, the results from this drone mag survey, what we found are these cross-cutting structures or features that basically come and break up that main structural corridor and allow the fluids to come up, allow the uranium to come up. So we've identified a couple of top priority targets, one of which is at what we call the East Maverick Zone. This was a new discovery we made a few years ago where we discovered high-grade mineralization along strike from the main Maverick Zone, and we had grades there upwards of 9% over 1.5 meters. In this last drill program, again, one of these last holes that we drilled, we hit, like I said, high grade in the basement rock, but we haven't been able to follow up on it yet. So sure enough, we flew the drone survey. We see a target a little bit deeper down, and we're going to be drill testing that in this program coming up. We also have another zone about 1.5 kilometers along strike up to the northeast called the Viper Zone. We'll be drill testing that. And then from a regional perspective, it's a big property. We're going to be going back into an area that's had limited historical drilling called the Otter Zone. And this was a zone about 9 kilometers away, actually, from that main Maverick corridor that we drilled a couple of holes earlier this year, had anomalous uranium mineralization, but definitely warrants follow-up work. So we'll be doing a little bit of exploratory work and drilling there as well.
Let's discuss the forthcoming drill program.
So it's going to be a winter drill program where we're waiting for freeze up, so that'll be later this year, early in the new year. We have planned and budgeted for 2,500 meters of drilling. We'll have details out on this drill program over the next month or two here, so look out for additional news flow on that. We're just going through the final plan right now, but as highlighted in this news release, there's 3 main target areas. Most of the drilling focused at the Maverick Zone, in particular the Maverick East Zone, and then the Viper Zone, and then a regional target at the Otter Grid.
What are some of the potential catalysts on the horizon for shareholders?
So the big one, needless to say, is this upcoming drill program. One hole can change the fortunes for the company, can really be a game changer. I think given the current valuation and market cap, one big hole, we can see a significant price increase on that. Again, we're out there looking to make that next big high-grade discovery, continuing to advance our flagship project. So that's a big one. But we also, as I mentioned earlier, acting as a prospect generator, have partner companies that are planning upcoming work programs, specifically Urano at our Preston project. This is adjacent to NextGen's ground and Fission as well on the west side of the Athabasca Basin. They've completed previous drill programs and exploration programs at Preston, and they are now planning for an upcoming winter program as well. We'll have details on that program when we get the final plan from them. And also Azincourt, this was some news that we had out about a month ago from our partners at Azincourt announcing plans for a 2,500-meter drill program at our East Preston project. So again, these are our partner-funded programs. Collectively, the partners spending upwards of $11.5 million to earn up to 70% of our Preston and East Preston projects. And both of these programs will provide news flow for Skyharbour. Again, like I said, we do get some cash payments as per the option earn-in agreements with the partners, and it's a great complement. It adds to the upcoming catalysts that we have at our flagship project more. And another note I'll just make is we are talking with other companies right now, other groups that are interested in the other projects that we have as a prospect generator. We're always looking to bring in strategic partners, value-add partners to come in and advance our secondary projects. And we have 3 other projects on the east side of the Athabasca Basin in Falcon Point, Man Lake, and Yurchison, all 3 of which are 100% owned. Falcon Point is worth noting that there's a small resource there, NI 43-101 compliant inferred resource, and a very high-grade surface showing on the north end of the property at 68% U3O8. So a project that we would like to get back to work to, or find a partner company to come in and fund that exploration, as we think there's a lot more to be found there.
Switching gears, Mr. Trimble, please share the current capital structure for Skyharbour Resources.
64 million shares issued and outstanding. I'd say just under half of that is in the hands of several groups, including management and insiders. As I mentioned, Denison Mines is our largest strategic shareholder. We have a few funds and institutional investors that have come in over the last several years that have helped.
And when was the last time you purchased shares, and at what price?
It was actually today. I've been buying more shares in the market over the last several weeks. In the last couple months here, just a note on the market, post Section 232, we have seen a sell-off across the board with uranium companies and stocks. There was a lot of money, or some money that came into the sector about a year ago that drove higher prices, and some of that money that came in on a trade on this 232. It was event-driven funds and money that came in that bid these companies up. We also saw that in the backdrop of a rising uranium price, but we've now seen some of that money, some of those funds have to exit the sector, and we've seen a sell-off as a result of that. So it's, I think really just a short-term, unfortunate sell-off that we're going through again across the board. It's, I believe, an incredible buying opportunity, and the value proposition, given that, we've continued to advance our projects. I think there's going to be also a move in the uranium price here between now and year end that will help drive higher prices. I think the value proposition right now is really better than ever, given the upcoming catalysts we have and, again, this uranium market recovery.
Mr. Trimble, last question. What did I forget to ask?
Well, I would like to touch on the uranium market. It's obviously a big part of our story, and there's a lot to update on since we last spoke. So we have seen the uranium price settle in. It's pulled back a little bit earlier in the year, but it has settled in the mid-20s. We're still trading near historical lows in inflation-adjusted terms. We're trading well below that average global cost of production. Need to see a much higher uranium price for new mines to come online, for existing mines that have been idle to come back online, most notably McArthur River. So there's a good case, a compelling case for much higher uranium prices given the supply-demand. We're now seeing a major supply deficit forming. I was just at the World Nuclear Association symposium in London, which is one of the marquee conferences for the nuclear industry and uranium mining industry annually. It's held in London, and it was quite interesting. They came out with their biannual fuel report, and this was, I think, one of the key takeaways from the conference is seeing that fuel report really, I think, opened a lot of people's eyes to what's happening in the uranium mining sector right now. You've had major supply curtailments, almost 30% of global primary mine supply that's been either shut down or curtailed, including, as I mentioned, McArthur River in the Athabasca Basin. So you've seen major supply cuts in response to a low commodity price environment. We're now producing about 135 million pounds from primary mine supply, and that's in the backdrop of well over 190 million pounds of annual demand and reactor requirements. And so I think something's got to give. That's obviously coming from secondary supplies. I think we'll see secondary supplies can continue to dwindle here, and we're seeing that spot market tightening up. One of the big talking points going forward here in the near term, and potentially one of the biggest catalysts for any uranium company, is the fact that Cameco, because they've shut down their largest mine at McArthur River, they have to buy or shore up supply of uranium either in the spot market or from other secondary sources to deliver into the contracts that they have with utility companies. Well, we now know that they have to buy quite a bit between now and year end, potentially upwards of 10 million pounds, and then next year over 20 million pounds. So that's a lot of material that they have to get either from secondary supplies, or what appears will happen, they'll have to buy some of that, if not all of that, in the spot market over a very short period of time. And just to give some perspective on that, a year ago when a lot of these uranium companies, including us, were hitting 52-week highs, that was driven by a uranium price increase from the low 20s to about $29 a pound in about a 5-month period. And a big part of that was Cameco buying in the spot market, and they bought about 8 million pounds. So here we are today, and Cameco has to buy about 10 million pounds between now and early in the new year. And so this could be one of the single largest catalysts for the spot price over the coming months. And I think if we see that spot price break $30 a pound, we've seen this resistance in the high 20s, but I think if we see it break $30 a pound, I think that is what's going to spur utility buying, contracting to pick up. That, as we talked about in the previous interview, is going to be one of the more important catalysts coming up over the next few years. But I think they're waiting to see that price move. I think Cameco in the market, and again, potentially utilities that are seeing this play out come into the market as well. I think a combination of that, you'll see this price tick up through 30. And as we've seen in the past, again, it's important to note that the combined market capitalization of all publicly traded uranium companies is less than $10 billion. That means that money that comes into the space works its way down to the junior companies like Skyharbour quite quickly. So we see that uranium price move, as we have seen a few times in the past several years. We benefit from that quite quickly. Money flows down quickly from the large caps to the small caps in this sector.
Mr. Trimble, for someone listening that wants to get more information about Skyharbour Resources, please share the website address.
Absolutely. So it's www.skyharbourltd.com. I'm more than welcome to get in touch with me directly, my office, or you can email me at jtrimble@skyharbourltd.com.
Skyharbour Resources trades on the TSX.V symbol SYH and on the OTCQB symbol SYHBF. Skyharbour Resources is a sponsor of Proven and Probable. And as a reminder, I'm a licensed representative for Miles Franklin Precious Metals Investments, where we offer a number of opportunities to expand your precious metals portfolio, from physical delivery, offshore depositories, precious metal IRAs, and private blockchain distributed ledger technology. Call me directly at 855-505-1900. That number again is 855-505-1900. Or you may email maurice@milesfranklin.com. Finally, please subscribe to provenandprobable.com, where we provide mining insights and bullion sales. Jordan Trimble of Skyharbour Resources, thank you for joining us today on Proven and Probable.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.